Dino yesterday was talking about, I said, crikey, the way things are going, Liverpool have got a real chance of winning the Premier, right? And he said, yeah, if Nunez starts hitting the back of the net, he says it's the same as Arsenal. They make so many chances, they don't cash in. Whereas Haaland, who missed a hatful,
he did,
right? Once he starts scoring again, that gives City a massive advantage. I see that again with Arsenal last night.
Yeah, I mean, they did dominate the game, as Jim Proudfoot says there in commentary. I think they had lots of opportunities. Thought they played okay. Being away from home, you just got to try and get a draw out of somewhere else. Inter Milan is not an easy place to go. San Siro, it's really good atmosphere, fantastic, got really behind their team. But it's a situation where you just got to try and find that back of the net, and they didn't do that last night again. A little bit like Newcastle at the weekend, Al. Didn't really look like scoring, did they, at Newcastle?
No.
Loads of possession, but you're playing in front of... To be fair to the Italians, they know how to defend. They know how to get everybody behind the ball. They know how to close you down when they need to. Blocks in the 18-yard box was brilliant from the Italians' point of view. And Newcastle have done a very similar sort of job to Arsenal at the weekend. So they've just got to try and that's where they missed that Odegaard. Odegaard is such an important player where he can just see that pass. See that pass. They're very, very similar in that midfield area. Merino,
so what about
Partey.
Edu leaving? Now, you played with Edu, right? You talk very highly of him leaving. Why do you think he's left?
Well, he's got a bigger job, hasn't he? I mean,
really?
He's going to be like a CEO probably of a group. I think it's our own Forest, don't they, as well? Nottingham Forest are going very well in the Premier League at the moment.
Are they?
Oh, they've been a surprise package this year, certainly at the moment. But it's a situation where he's tried to up his what he wants to do going forward, and he's got that opportunity. So look, it's really gutting if you're an Arsenal fan, because Edu was doing a decent job at Arsenal, bringing in players. Obviously, got a great relationship with the manager, which is very, very important for a sporting director. But, you know, that's football. These days, it doesn't really surprise me that people want to move on, and he's going to go to a bigger job, probably a lot more money, Al, and he wants to secure his family going forward. So he's made that big decision. But it is a blow. But I'm sure Arteta is probably the man who really decides who he really wants and what he needs.
But this is worrying. Arsenal now dropped to 12th in the table, halfway through the league phase, 2 points behind Villa in 8th. Mourinho was the victim, this is interesting, was the victim of a controversial handball decision as the ball struck him in the crowded penalty. And if you haven't seen this, you've got to watch it again. And we're back to the handball decisions again. I don't know what a handball is and what isn't now.
Well, the problem is, Al, in the Premier League, that won't be given. So the rules are different in Europe than they are in different other leagues. So that's probably not right.
But in the Premier League, I think Arsenal had a penalty for the header. The keeper comes out, doesn't get the ball, smashes Merino.
He gets a penalty there.
That's a penalty.
Yeah.
If that's a defender and a centre forward in the box, and the defender is just a little bit late to the ball, doesn't get the ball, it's a penalty.
Oh, of course it is, yeah. And he was late, and he did punch him in the back of the head. So really, you've got to look at that. And Premier League probably would have been a penalty. But the penalty, you're going for the ball. You're going genuinely to win the ball. And if the guy just millimetres gets a little toe on it and it deflects into your arm, where you're going to go in to try and win the ball, how's that penalty? You can't do nothing about that.
Well, let's hear what Mikel Arteta said. He said it was tough to accept.
Well, I don't understand. It's just a deflection. There is no danger at all. You cannot react because the ball is very close. But okay, they decide that is a penalty. But then if that's a penalty, the one on Mikel Merino, when he punches in the head, it has to be 1,000% a penalty. And these are the margins in this game, and very, very difficult to accept.
So former Chelsea Republic of Ireland midfielder Andy Townsend was on co-commentary duty for talkSPORT last night, and he said that, he sympathised with Mikel and Arsenal.
When I saw the Merino one at half-time again, if you make a genuine attempt to play the ball and someone beats you by a millisecond and gets a touch on it and it hits your hand from a foot away, 6 inches away, that shouldn't be deemed a penalty. If you're a defender going out towards a winger and the winger's 4 or 5 yards away from you and he crosses it and you've got one hand up in the air, serves you right. Serves you right for doing that. You're going to concede penalties. But I thought the Merino one, I think that is very harsh, and I'd like to see an amendment in that rule. If it's a genuine attempt to try and intercept or play the ball.
He's spot on there.
Voice of reason. Reason.
I mean, I can see what Andy's saying there. I mean, if you're 5 yards away and you're putting your hand out when the guy's going to cross the ball, because you're stopping. But he can't do nothing about that. He's got a slight deflection on it, and he's going pace on the ball as well.
The only thing I think could have made the ref's mind up was it was a flat hand. You know, it didn't just hit his hand. He had his hand palm facing the ball. For me, it's not a penalty, right?
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.